Welcome, everyone, to this deep dive all about virtual staffing. We've gotten so many great resources from all of you about building an awesome virtual team. And so we're here to really dig in and help unearth those nuggets of wisdom for you. Those golden nuggets, as we like to call them. We're talking about you building your dream business and achieving true freedom.
Absolutely.
And it all starts with understanding one powerful analogy: the entrepreneurial bug bite.
It is a fascinating comparison.
Yeah.
The sources suggest that when you get bitten by this entrepreneurial bug, you gain unique skills and abilities, almost like a superhero.
I love that.
But just like superheroes have weaknesses, entrepreneurs often fall prey to superhero syndrome, which is that overwhelming feeling of needing to do everything themselves.
Oh, it's so relatable.
Right.
You know, you're suddenly juggling a million tasks, wearing all the hats in the company.
For sure.
It can be exhilarating at first, but it quickly leads to burnout.
It does. It does.
The sources are clear. Trying to be a one-man band, a super VA, it's a recipe for disaster.
It is, you just can't be an expert in every area of your business.
Right.
And trying to do so, it actually prevents you from reaching your full potential.
Wow.
The key, as the sources emphasize, is delegation.
Okay.
Relinquishing control and empowering others to contribute their expertise.
And we have some very inspiring examples of entrepreneurs who have done this successfully.
We do.
Chris Tucker's story, for example, is incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
He went from feeling overwhelmed and stuck to becoming a virtual CEO.
Wow.
Leading a thriving business with the help of a talented virtual team.
Such a great example. His journey really illustrates that to achieve freedom, you have to let go of the reins and trust your team, and it starts with identifying which tasks to delegate.
Okay.
And the sources introduce a practical framework for doing just that, called the 3 lists to freedom.
All right, lay it on me. I'm ready.
It's a game changer.
Okay, listeners, get ready to visualize your own lists as we explore each of these categories.
All right, number 1, we're focusing on tasks that simply drain your energy. Tasks you hate.
Oh, tell me more.
We're talking about mundane and repetitive activities that make you procrastinate, things like responding to basic customer service emails or formatting blog posts.
Oh, I can already imagine just handing that over.
Anything that makes you groan inwardly.
Yes, please.
Get rid of it.
What's next?
The second list tackles areas where you might lack expertise, tasks you don't know how to do. This is where the power of specialization comes in. Instead of struggling to learn web development or video editing, you bring in experts who can handle those tasks with efficiency and finesse.
That's right. Work smarter, not harder.
Absolutely.
And finally, we arrive at the most strategic list: tasks you shouldn't be doing.
Love it. This list encourages you to step back and identify activities that, while you might be capable of doing, are ultimately holding you back from focusing on your core strengths and your strategic vision.
So even if I'm good at something like managing social media, if it's consuming hours every day, it's probably something I should delegate so I can focus on things that drive real growth.
Exactly.
Like developing new products or exploring partnerships.
That's it. It's all about understanding your highest value activities and creating space for them by offloading tasks that others can handle effectively.
Makes sense. Now, this leads us to another important distinction that we need to talk about: the difference between project-based and role-based outsourcing.
Right.
Help us understand the nuances between these two approaches.
Sure. So imagine you need a new website built.
Okay.
Hiring a web developer to build that entire website would be considered project-based.
Okay.
You have a specific project with a defined start and end point.
Gotcha. So role-based would be like hiring that same developer to handle the ongoing maintenance
Yeah.
and updates of the website. It's a more continuous type of relationship.
Exactly. You're hiring for a specific role within your virtual team rather than for a single isolated project.
I'm with you.
The sources emphasize this powerful mantra: hired for the role, not the task.
I love that. So we've identified the tasks we want to delegate. We understand the difference between project-based and role-based outsourcing. Now let's talk about the players in this game, the virtual assistants themselves.
This is where it gets exciting.
I know, right?
The sources reveal a diverse array of virtual assistants, each with their own unique skill sets and areas of expertise.
All right, listeners, get ready to meet your potential virtual dream team.
That's right.
Who are these talented individuals and what magical powers do they possess?
Well, first up, we have the General Virtual Assistant, the GVA.
Okay.
These are your ultimate multitaskers.
Nice.
It's the administrative backbone of your virtual operation. They handle everyday tasks like managing emails, scheduling appointments, conducting online research.
Already, I can see how valuable a GVA would be.
Absolutely.
Especially for those of us who get bogged down in the day-to-day minutia. What other specialists should we know about?
Well, then you have specialists like the SEO or Internet Marketing VA,
Okay.
who focuses on boosting your online presence. They're experts in website optimization, keyword research, and all those digital strategies that drive traffic and visibility.
Essential in today's digital landscape for sure.
Absolutely.
Who else can join our virtual team?
Next, we have the content writer.
All right.
These are your
I
wordsmiths,
like it.
the storytellers who craft compelling narratives that engage your audience and bring your brand to life.
I love it.
They can create blog posts, website, copy ebooks, anything that requires the power of words.
It sounds like having a virtual Shakespeare at your beck and call.
Absolutely.
What other virtual superheroes await?
We also have video editors who are masters of visual storytelling.
Yes.
They can handle everything from basic editing to creating dynamic marketing videos that capture attention and leave a lasting impression.
Another skill I would gladly outsource.
For sure.
Video editing can be quite a time-consuming endeavor.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are the web developers who build and maintain your online home, your website,
Yes.
and ensure your site is functional, aesthetically pleasing, and optimized for conversions.
They're the architects and builders of your digital presence.
And speaking of digital, we can't forget about the app developers.
Right.
They're the masterminds behind those mobile applications that are changing the way we interact with the world.
That's it.
So you're telling me we can build our own app now without writing a single line of code?
It's incredible.
This is amazing. The possibilities with virtual staffing are truly astounding. But before we get carried away with assembling this virtual dream team, there's a crucial step we need to address:
Okay.
crafting crystal clear communication and well-defined job descriptions.
Absolutely. This is where many entrepreneurs stumble,
Yeah,
and it leads to frustration and disappointment on both sides.
totally. We need to avoid those pitfalls from the very beginning.
We do.
All right, let's dive into that. How do we create job descriptions that attract the best talent and ensure seamless communication with our virtual team members? Stay tuned, listeners.
Stay tuned.
We'll unravel these secrets after a quick break.
We will. The resources we have provide us with a lot about writing those really compelling job descriptions that are going to capture the attention of those skilled VAs. It's essential to be transparent about the role, about the skills they need, and your expectations for reporting and accountability.
Okay, so in a competitive market for talent, how can we make our job descriptions stand out
Right.
and attract the best of the best?
Well, the sources recommend ditching those kind of mimicky job titles like social media ninja or marketing guru.
Okay.
Instead, opt for clear descriptive titles like part-time data entry virtual assistant or graphic designer for children's book illustrations.
Oh, I see. Much more straightforward.
Right.
What else should we keep in mind when we're crafting these irresistible job descriptions?
Specificity is key.
Okay.
Be upfront about the type of position, whether it's project-based, part-time, full-time.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget to mention your preferred working time zone.
Oh, that's good.
This helps potential candidates determine if their schedule aligns with yours.
Right.
So you're not having those late night or early morning email scrambles.
Nobody wants to be responding to emails at 3:00 a.m.
No, they don't.
And of course, outlining those required skills is so important. But instead of just saying excellent communication skills, we need to go a little deeper, right?
We do break it down further. Do you need someone who can write captivating marketing copy? Or someone who is adept at handling customer service inquiries with empathy and patience?
Oh, that's a good point.
Each role demands specific communication styles and proficiencies.
Absolutely. So a skilled writer might not be the best fit for a customer support role and vice versa.
Right.
The sources also emphasize the importance of daily reporting and accountability. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Sure. So they suggest having a team member submit a concise summary of their work at the end of each day.
Okay.
This could be like a brief email or a shared document outlining accomplishments, challenges encountered, and plans for the following day.
So you're saying even though we're working remotely, we're still going to cultivate a culture of transparency
Absolutely.
and communication, which is important to keep everyone connected
Yes.
and feeling a sense of responsibility.
Precisely. It's a simple but effective way to maintain that visibility and ensure everyone's on the same page.
I like it. Once those applications start rolling in, it's time to shift our focus to the interview process.
Yes, the interviews.
Any advice for navigating this crucial step
Right.
and ensuring that we find the perfect VA for our team?
You know, it's not just about skills. It's also about finding someone who aligns with your work style and your company culture.
Right?
The sources stress the importance of assessing personality
Okay.
and growth potential.
So we're going beyond checking off boxes on a skills checklist.
We are. We need to look beyond those surface level qualifications and really get to know the person behind the resume.
So how do we achieve that deeper understanding during the interview?
Ask open-ended questions
Okay.
that allow the candidates to showcase their personality and thought process.
Give me some examples.
Sure, like inquire about why they left their previous role
Okay,
or what aspects they found most fulfilling in past roles.
that's good.
These inquiries reveal a lot about their work style motivations
Hmm.
and whether they'll thrive in your environment.
It's about understanding their work history
Yes,
and what makes them tick.
exactly. What else makes them tick?
Okay, what other questions can help us glean these insights?
Encourage them to articulate the skills that make them a perfect match for this role,
Okay.
prompting them to connect their abilities to your specific needs.
Hmm.
And don't shy away from exploring skills that may not be explicitly listed on the job description,
Oh, that's interesting.
but could be valuable assets to your organization.
I like that approach.
Yeah, you never know what hidden talents might emerge.
Love it. Now, before we move on to the training phase, let's talk about confidentiality,
Ah, yes.
which is a critical issue, especially when you're working with people remotely.
It is protecting sensitive information is paramount, especially in a remote work setting.
Right.
The sources advocate for clear confidentiality agreements and contracts
Okay.
to safeguard both you and your virtual team.
So we're talking NDAs. And, those legally binding documents that outline everyone's responsibilities when handling confidential data.
Absolutely. It's not about mistrust.
Right.
It's about establishing that professional framework
Mm,
and ensuring everyone understands the importance of protecting sensitive information. It's peace of mind for everyone involved.
I see your point. So we found our ideal VA. We've got our legal safeguards in place. Now it's time to embark on the training journey,
It is.
which is often the part that makes entrepreneurs a little nervous.
I understand that.
How can we ensure that our VAs are set up for success when we're not physically in the same location?
This is where the resources really offer some practical tips and strategies for effective VA training.
Okay.
And it all begins with one golden rule: never make assumptions.
Okay, so we're talking clear communication, no mind reading aloud.
Exactly.
But how do we ensure crystal clear instructions, especially when we're navigating potential cultural differences and language barriers?
The sources advocate for what they call the V training trifecta:
Ooh, I like it.
written instructions, audio recordings, and video recordings.
Wow.
Each method caters to different learning styles and offers unique benefits.
Okay, let's break down each element of this training trifecta.
Okay.
Written instructions seem pretty straightforward, but are there ways to make them exceptionally effective?
I think clarity and conciseness are key.
Okay.
Employ bullet points, numbered lists, descriptive headings to present the information in a way that's easily digestible.
Okay.
And don't hesitate to include visuals like screenshots or diagrams to illustrate those complex steps.
So it's all about making those instructions as user-friendly as possible.
Absolutely.
When are audio recordings most beneficial in this training process?
Audio recordings are fantastic for tasks that involve a sequence of steps.
Okay.
So imagine guiding your VA through editing a podcast
Hmm.
or creating a social media graphic.
Okay.
They can listen while they work, pausing and rewinding as needed.
And the great thing is you create them once and you can reuse them
You can.
over and over again for future training.
Absolutely. It's all about working smarter, not harder.
I love it. It's a great way to build a library of training resources that you can share with new team members as you grow.
Exactly. Now, the sources seem particularly enthusiastic about video recordings.
I could see why.
What makes them stand out?
Well, video recordings seem like the ultimate training tool because they combine visuals and audio, leaving little room for misinterpretation. It's like having a virtual you sitting right next to your VA,
Exactly.
guiding them through each step.
And just like audio recordings, you can reuse these videos,
Yes.
gradually building a comprehensive resource library that saves you time and effort in the long run.
I'm loving this approach. What about those repetitive tasks, though, that are essential to our business,
Right.
but tend to consume so much of our time? The sources mentioned something called process maps. What are those?
Process maps are invaluable for streamlining those routine tasks.
Okay.
They involve breaking down a repetitive process into simple, easy-to-follow steps, often using visuals like flowcharts or diagrams.
So it's like creating a visual roadmap for your VA to follow.
It is. It is. Think about tasks like order fulfillment,
Okay.
blog posting, managing social media content.
Hmm.
By crafting this detailed process map, you ensure consistency and efficiency,
Right.
freeing up your VA
And yourself.
and you to focus on more strategic initiatives.
Now, what about those unforeseen situations that always seem to pop up
Right.
that don't necessarily fit neatly into a process map?
Mm-hmm.
The sources mentioned IFTT cheat sheets. Can you elaborate on those?
Absolutely. So IFTTT stands for if this, then that.
Oh, okay.
And these cheat sheets guide your VA through those recurring but not quite routine situations.
Got it.
They provide a framework for handling specific scenarios that might occur.
Can you give us an example of how these IFTTT cheat sheets work in practice?
Imagine a customer sends an email with a particular inquiry.
Okay.
The cheat sheet might outline the steps your VA should take. If the customer asks about pricing, then direct them to the pricing page on our website. If the customer expresses frustration, then escalate the issue to the manager.
Oh, that's incredibly helpful.
Right.
It's like equipping them with a decision-making tree
It is.
to help them navigate those tricky situations and empower them to handle issues independently while still ensuring consistent customer service.
Exactly. It's all about anticipating those common scenarios
Okay.
and providing clear guidelines so your VA can confidently resolve them without constantly seeking your input.
So it fosters autonomy and efficient problem solving.
It does.
This all sounds great, but I have to admit, a part of me worries about relinquishing control. What if my VA makes mistakes?
Mm-hmm.
Or what if I become that dreaded virtual vulture that the sources warn against?
Right.
It doesn't paint a pretty picture.
Understandable, but remember, the purpose of building this virtual team is to liberate yourself
Okay.
from those day-to-day tasks and focus on that larger vision.
Right.
Micromanaging defeats that purpose entirely.
So how do we strike that balance between providing guidance and stifling our VAs with constant oversight? How do we avoid becoming those virtual vultures?
The sources offer some brilliant advice for finding that sweet spot. It begins with establishing unambiguous expectations and benchmarks. Instead of assigning a task and hope for the best, deconstruct it into smaller milestones with defined deadlines. It's like providing a detailed roadmap with clear checkpoints along the way, guiding your VA and giving you visibility into their progress.
That makes a lot of sense. It takes the pressure off of both sides. The VA has a structured path to follow, and you can track their progress without constantly hovering. The sources also highlight the importance of providing examples.
Yes.
It seems obvious, but maybe it gets overlooked more than we realize.
Absolutely. If you want a particular design aesthetic, showcase some samples. If you have a specific writing tone in mind, share articles or blog posts that embody that. Remember, you're striving for a cohesive brand experience across all your content and communication channels.
And speaking of consistency, this is where those cautionary tales about virtual vulture behavior really hit home.
Right.
Employing screen capture software to monitor your VA's every keystroke or constantly interrupting them with questions, it seems counterproductive to say the least.
It is. It's detrimental. Micromanaging just conveys a lack of trust in your VA's ability to do their job well. Instead, schedule regular check-ins, maybe twice a week, to discuss progress, address any roadblocks, and provide constructive feedback. These check-ins cultivate open communication and ensure that everyone is aligned.
Okay, so it's about finding that balance between giving them guidance and allowing them that autonomy to flourish.
Right.
We don't want to stifle their creativity or initiative. Now let's consider what happens when our virtual team grows. The sources talk about transitioning from a manager to a business owner and introducing a virtual project manager, a VPM.
Right.
When do we know it's time to make that shift?
Typically, when your team reaches about 3 to 4 full-time VAs, that signals the need for a VPM. They act as a conductor of your virtual orchestra. They ensure everyone is in sync and projects move forward seamlessly. It's about delegation, empowering someone to manage the day-to-day of your growing team.
Okay, so where do we find these extraordinary VPMs and what should we be looking for in terms of their skills and experience?
It's the same principles as when hiring any VA. Look for proven experience managing remote teams, a track record of successfully executed projects, and a personality that complements yours and the overall team dynamic. The interview process is key for really delving into these aspects.
What specific questions can we ask to assess their ability to handle all the demands of managing a virtual team?
Inquire about their familiarity with different project management methodologies, their communication style, and their approach to conflict resolution.
Conflict resolution is an interesting point because even in the most harmonious teams, there are bound to be some disagreements.
There are. But a skilled VPM can facilitate constructive conversations, mediate disputes, and guide the team towards solutions that work for everyone. They act as a neutral party, and they ensure all voices are heard and respected.
Now let's shift our focus to content creation. This is a topic that comes up again and again in the sources, and for good reason.
It does.
Content is king or queen.
It is, but it's also an area where a lot of entrepreneurs struggle. They feel overwhelmed by the need to constantly create high-quality content. Remember those 3 lists to freedom? Content content creation often falls right into that tax you should not be doing category.
It's so easy to get bogged down in the weeds of writing blog posts, producing videos, or designing infographics that you lose sight of those bigger strategic objectives.
It is.
So how can we utilize our virtual team to help create content that attracts our ideal clients and propels our business forward?
It all starts with research. Your GVA can gather valuable data on your target audience, industry trends, and relevant keywords. This information informs the whole content creation process, whether it's writing a blog post or developing a video script or outplaning an ebook.
So the GVA acts as our virtual research guru,
Absolutely.
procuring all those raw materials that we need to build our content empire.
Yes, and then you have your specialized VAs, like your content writers and your video editors, who take those raw materials and shape them into that polished, engaging content that really resonates with your audience.
And let's not forget marketing and optimization.
That's right.
That's where our SEO or Internet Marketing VA comes in to make sure our content is seen by the right people
Exactly.
and driving traffic back to our website.
It's a collaborative symphony, each VA playing their part in that content creation ecosystem. And remember, quality over quantity. Focus on creating content that truly connects with your audience and provides real value.
The sources are full of inspiring stories of entrepreneurs who have embraced virtual staffing and achieved some pretty incredible results. We learn about Todd Bukens, the online teacher who achieved location independence, and Tom Leibelt, who overcame burnout and scaled his business by creating a really remarkable virtual team.
It's incredible, right? Their experiences highlight the transformative potential of virtual freedom. It's not just about working less, it's about working smarter. It's about creating a business that aligns with your values and your lifestyle. It's about reclaiming control of your time and energy so you can devote it to what really matters.
And there are so many others who have taken this leap. Kristen King, the freelancer who built a thriving agency, Steve Dixon, a serial entrepreneur who runs multiple businesses, Nate Ginsberg, a digital nomad who's building his marketing empire, Joshua Steinbley, who expanded his reach globally, and Fiona Lewis, who empowers others through her expertise with VAs. Their stories are testaments to the limitless possibilities that virtual freedom unlocks.
As we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with 10 key takeaways that you can use to guide you on your own path to virtual freedom.
Perfect. Let's equip our listeners with the tools they need to start this exciting journey.
Number 1, embrace the entrepreneurial bug. You have amazing skills and talents just like a superhero, but even superheroes need a team.
Number 2, fight superhero syndrome. You don't have to do it all alone. Delegate to achieve true freedom.
Number 3, create your 3 lists to freedom. Identify those tasks that you hate, those you lack expertise in, and those that are preventing you from focusing on your zone of genius.
Number 4, remember, hire for the role, not the task. Assemble a team of specialized VAs whose skills complement each other to create a powerful force for success.
Number 5, master the art of communication and training. Give clear instructions, don't make assumptions, and utilize a variety of training methods that work for different learning styles.
Number 6, utilize the VA training trifecta: written instructions, audio recordings, and video recordings. This powerful combination ensures clear communication and sets your VAs up for success.
Number 7, don't become a virtual vulture. Trust your VAs to do their jobs and give them the space to excel.
Number 8, as your team expands, transition from manager to business owner. Delegate management responsibilities to a skilled virtual project manager who can handle the details of your growing team.
Number 9, leverage content creation. Empower your VAs to help research, produce, and market high-quality content that resonates with your audience and grows your business.
And finally, number 10, the most important step: take action today. Don't let fear or procrastination hold you back. Start building your virtual dream team one step at a time and unlock the incredible power of virtual freedom.
You've got the knowledge, you've got the resources, and you've got the inspiration to create the business and life of your dreams. It's time to step into your power and embrace the possibilities that await.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into virtual staffing. We hope you found it valuable and that you're excited to embark on your own journey toward virtual freedom.
You've got this. The world is waiting for your unique brilliance to shine.